Hi, my name is Paul Hutchings with Simple Steps to FinancialFreedom.com, and I want to welcome you to this short video on compound interest. Albert Einstein said that compound interest is perhaps the greatest mathematical discovery of all time. It's also been said that those who understand compound interest are destined to collect it, those who don't are doomed to pay it. Key point in understanding compound interest. Interest is always calculated on principal, and the major difference between understanding simple and compound interest is the definition of principal, so keep that in mind. With simple interest, your initial investment is the principal, and it always is the principal. In this example, you invest $1,000 at 10%, so $1,000 is your principal. At the end of year one, you earn 10% on the principal, which is $100. At the beginning of year two, your principal carries over from the previous year, $1,000. At the end of year two, you earn another 10% on the principal. This process continues each year until the principal balance is withdrawn and the investment ended. The important thing to note is that with simple interest, the principal never changes, and therefore the interest that's calculated on that principal is always the same. Compound interest starts out the same way. You invest $1,000 principal. At the end of year one, you earn 10% on the principal. Here is where things start to get a little different. Remember, with simple interest, your principal never changes. With compound interest, both the principal and the interest from year one become the principal for year two. In compound interest, the principal and the interest from the previous year are compounded into the next year's principal. When we now go to calculate interest for year two, it's not just on the initial investment of $1,000. We will also calculate interest on top of the interest earned in year one, and therefore the interest amount is higher. It's now not just $100, but it's $110 because it's calculated on the principal, which was $1,000, and the interest, which was $100. So now we're calculating on $1,100, which gives us the interest of $110. This will now give us our principal balance for the beginning of year three. The magic of compound interest is that each period, the interest is compounded into the new principal for the next period, and therefore the interest grows and the principal grows, and they compound on each other, getting bigger and bigger. Key point, the bigger the rate and the longer the compounding period, the greater the snowball effect. Let's take a look at what happens a few years down the road with the example that we just used. You invest $1,000 at 10%. On the left side, we're going to use simple interest, and on the right side, we're going to use compound interest. As you can see, at the end of year one, it's exactly the same. You've got $1,100 for your investment value. Year 5, they're still fairly similar. Year 10, we're starting to get a little bit of a difference there. Year 20, now the compounding has actually doubled the effect. Year 30, we've got 17,000 versus 4,000, compound versus simple, and jump down to year 50. Simple interest would return $6,000 over 50 years, and compound interest would return $117,390. Absolutely amazing. Moral of the story, earn compound interest, don't pay it.